Howdy goes. So, Merry Christmas for one. Um, I wanted to talk about goals for young men specifically. Goals for girls are always going to be different. This is just some of them. Basically, goal number one, just get mentally healthy and stable. You need this, it's your foundation, blah blah blah. And also meditate every day for 5 minutes. If you don't know how to meditate, look it up. Trust me, that has compounding interest, and you want to start that as soon as possible. Then get physically healthy. This means eating right, making sure you're not fat. You don't need a gym, you just need at least 30 minutes of dedicated walking, at least every day. And, just some kind of physical prowess. And I say 16% body fat should be your highest body fat. Obviously, me being fat cake here, it's higher than that. But I'm working on getting that down. So, take these goals where you can. You want to be 16% max. If you don't have anything to calculate your body fat percentage, if you can see your abs, good. That's like 14% body fat. And the third one is then to start investing in yourself, like skills, like start reading books, start going for certifications, and potentially college. But go in that order. So if you find something you like, get a book on it, and if you enjoy it, maybe get a certification or go to college. Now, so example myself, I'm getting a certification to be a personal trainer. I'm reading about it all the time. I'm studying all the time. That's what I'm doing. Now, granted, it's different for everything, but those are just some things you should look into. Invest in oneself, make yourself a higher quality person. And then, because if you invest in yourself, you can go a lot farther, you can potentially start your own business, and if you get a bunch of skills, that means you can go anywhere and start anything. We're relating to that skill anyway, if you're good enough. This one's kind of like an optional one, but definitely invest in yourself first before you do this. If you have extra money, don't use it to buy stuff. Buy stocks, invest in it, like with a Webull or Robinhood or whatever you want to use. I just look up dividend monthly stocks. I buy a few stocks every month, and I don't touch it. I'm not scared to sell on my stocks. It's whatever. Okay, it's whatever. It's so that my money's doing something, and I don't have to work for it. This one's kind of like an optional one. I just put this next to invest in yourself because I want you to put all your money and resources and time first into yourself. But then when there becomes a point where it's like, well, realistically, I can't spend all day doing this one thing and I have 5 minutes to just do something, then yeah, you can use those 5 minutes of the day to invest in stocks and move money over and all that good stuff. Next step. This also ties in investing in stocks. Minimalize. And we're first going to talk about physical things. So minimalize in items you have and things. Like, I know it's Christmas, but already I'm like, okay, what am I getting rid of and what am I keeping? I got some clothes, so I'm going to get rid of some old clothes. I got some gadgets and toys. I'm going to give them away or sell them if I can. But I'm not going to keep most of it. It's just too much. Be happy with less. Long term, you'll be happier off because honestly, you change as a person. So like I have a bass guitar. I enjoy playing it, but one day there will be a time where I don't want to play it potentially, and then I'm gonna force myself to keep it, and I'm gonna constantly be nagging myself. Hey, why did you give up on it? Blah blah blah, and then it's just a negative. And when that day comes, I'm just gonna throw it out. But I practice minimalism with other things. Now, granted, my desk is a mess, like always, because I have no idea how to clean. But that's the thing. You want to minimalize physical things. Now you kind of this one you want to take with a grain of salt and apply mediocrely or whatever. Minimalize socially. Especially if your friends are negative influences, like if they're staying up late or if they're hanging out with bad people, doing stuff, then you need a whole new friend group. Well, when I say minimalize socially, just make sure your friend group and you aren't overlapping each other too much. It's good to see your friends. It's good to hang out with people. You can have girlfriends and all that good stuff. I'm just saying, like, I hang out with my friends once a week. We have very healthy relationships. We don't do stuff daily. There's some friends where I'll see them 2 to 3 times a week-ish, and that's because we're out on the gym. But if your friends aren't doing the exact same thing as you, then you don't need them there. And because they're holding your hand and walking down your path, or you're holding their hand walking down their path, and the likelihood of you having a one-way relationship is impossible. So it means you're going to be wasting time on their stuff and they're going to be wasting time on your stuff, and you don't want that. And it's just kind of a weird thought, but I've been doing it naturally as I get older. So yeah, enjoy your friends, especially if you're a young man. Just make sure you're controlling it. Because, there's some friends, if they ask me to hang out right now, I'm just going to be like, no, I have things I want to do. I want to study, I want to clean my room. I always say that, and honestly, I only do it for like 20 seconds, and then I get distracted. But that's the thing. This one's probably the most hardest one to explain, but for guys who need it, they'll understand it. Next one. This is a big one too, and this one's also a cautionary one. Don't stay where you grew up at. Move somewhere else. I decided I'm going to move to Texas. I'm from Idaho. I was going to do Dallas or Houston, but the thing is financially I can't afford it, because rent where I live is around like $600, or well, it's $400 for a single studio apartment. And then I'm looking over at Houston, I'm making calls, and they're saying it's roughly $1,600, and now they're saying if it was 2 people, it'd be like 2.2 grand, and I'm like, okay, with 2 people it's doable, but the thing is, I'm not going to be moving over there with anyone. And then I was thinking about contacting individual people and be like, hey, do you have a room you can rent, blah, 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 and it's just a headache, so I'm just going to look for a smaller town, all that good stuff. And remember when I brought up investing in oneself? Awesome. I think most of these you should have done before you actually consider this next option. I put this at the bottom because you gotta do this one last. Every other one of these things, you either have to have full control over, or have simply just done it. And the thing is, a lot of these tie in together, like self-control, like not overeating, physically taking care of yourself, doing what you need to do when it needs to be done, not overindulging in physical items, not overindulging in social environments, not relying off of anything, but your own self and your own skills and choices. Start a business. If you are skilled enough in something, you can then start a business. You can then bring a bunch of like-minded people with you, and you can just be the head or start it with other people there. Or you can help a business get off the ground. Just make sure you're near the top. If you're not near the top, I'm not going to lie to you, unless it's offering like great pay, your end goal is then to go somewhere else and do the same thing or take over or whatever. Do as you must, because if you have a family, it's not worth the risk. And if you're going to get paid however much money an hour and you're satisfied with it, then do it. But all I know is, for the vast majority of the time, I would recommend starting your own business. Make sure you're your own boss, and all those good things. Alrighty guys, stay awesome out there.